Vanu, welcome. I'm so sorry. My beds haven't kicked in yet. I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood, y'all. Hang on. Hi, Kiki. Hi, Vets. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Välkommen, bienvenue. Welcome to Cabaret. 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 Alright. We have some questions.
Don't worry.
First
she'll get
of
to
all,
it.
I'm introducing these people because maybe you don't know them. Alright? But you should. This is James. He is Maps. She is everything. He is Maps. James is the incredible person who has done our maps literally the whole time. He is so talented. Where aren't the commands? What? Maybe it was just map. Oh my god, I got it. Okay, wait, no. Are the commands just off?
Are the commands off? Because I think it was just
James, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm James. I use
Doing
he, him
things.
pronouns, and I'm better known as Hugger Muggard on the socials. And I make maps, and I play TTRPGs, and I run TTRPGs. In fact, I was helping run one this past week, where I murdered both of the other people who are in this call with me. Help. And I have had the pleasure of being the map maker for Dungeons and Demigods this season, and it has been delightful, with a grand total of 16 maps completed. So, hell yeah.
I did it.
That's all I
I
got.
fixed it, everyone. I'm a woman in STEM.
Woohoo!
And then the other one is Paige, who I would say is a mixture between Monster Builder and Lore Advisor.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Just a person on my council.
Just
an advisor.
About Greek mythology with you.
Basically, y'all in a chat me going, would this be fucking crazy? What if...
We're the enablers that made...
Yeah, you guys just hype me up.
We're just pushed Maddie to go forward with everything.
Yeah.
It's true.
Paige introduce so...
But yeah, Paige. My pronouns are she, her. I go by Pluto Cleric everywhere. I stream a lot on my own channel where I run a lot of different games and systems, as well as some like video game variety streaming. And I play other places when I can. Like, James just killed me like a week ago, so...
Kiki
Yeah.
helped.
And Maddie almost killed me like a month ago. So these both have come from my throat.
Also, I like that now that Kiki's killed my character, I have license.
Yep. Mila.
Megan, nice
Mila's
kill.
done for- I don't want to hear about no coin, Kiki. You did it on purpose. I know you.
I flipped the coin. Alright, Milo. Also,
It was
can we appreciate Paige's Milo cosplay?
Yeah, so in season 2, sorry, Kiki, I'm still in your spot.
God
And then you
damn
come
it.
in later, and then you come in later, and then you come in later, and you play Gloria.
This is the Mila mimic, actually.
This
I'll
is
play
Milo
Mila's
now
the
that
evil
she's
twin.
now that
I'll
she's
play
joined the
Mila's
bad
evil
side.
twin. I'll come in as like Mila's long lost twin sister.
No, you're the Mila that Theo has created out of like blankets and pillows in this apartment.
Oh no! It's so brutal.
Oh my god.
Alright, first question.
Oh yeah, if it wasn't obvious, we're answering your questions. So if you got more,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
over
drop
here.
them in the chat.
Oh, James, you're so good at this. Anyways, we'll start off with one of Justin's questions, because he technically asked them first. Who is your favorite demigod ship?
Oh, favorite ship.
Kiki, you can
Can
ask
it-
questions too, by the way.
The answer should be like Jezebel and her juice boxes, but I don't know. I was a big, before Theo and Mila got really serious, I was a big Hugo Theo in my headspace. I was like, that's cute. Go for the dreamer boy. It's
Listen,
cute.
unfortunately,
I can't
it's
ship Hugo with anyone.
it's
That's my little
not
brother.
mentioned a lot, so I'm not gonna blame you for this. But unfortunately, Hugo is still just a minor, so they're just best
Yeah,
friends.
it's just
Hugo
just
is
out.
baby.
Just out. Though I think age gap wise, Theo and Hugo is like 3 years. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's not a
that
big
much
age
older
gap,
than
but
her.
they'd have to wait.
They'd have to
They'd
wait.
have to wait.
Yeah, Hugo's just a little guy. Yeah, that's fair. They, and also in the one shot, they were very funny. Hugo's just a little guy, and he's been through so much recently.
I love
What
Hugo.
about you,
I
Paige?
love- Oh man, it's tough. I can't remember her name. Out of the big 3 from our one shot, the one that not the asshole
Cressida,
Pollock,
Shannon, Cressida or Shannon?
I shipped Gloria and Shannon
Re-
like later on.
Jezebel, I was gonna say Jezebel and Shannon because Jezebel's trying to get with Shannon so bad, by the way.
We'll make it a love triangle.
Yeah, alright.
I'll fight Faye for Shannon's hand.
It can be Polly.
Yeah, it could also be Polly. That works.
I quietly ship Sasha with either Cresta or Mars because I live for an enemies to lovers. Like, they hate each other, but they fuck each other vibes.
Yeah.
I remember everyone was shipping Tessa and Sasha at the start, and I was like, where are we getting this from? But Slay. I think it was because they were very close, and everyone was just like, oh, are they together? And I was like, no, but they are friends. Maybe sometimes.
Also, just because I think it'd be a really interesting pair, and kind of Monique and Jezebel would be funny.
Oh yeah.
That energy together would be such a interesting thing to watch.
I'm trying to figure. Mon would break first, like just in general.
I think also. I also kind of ship like Mon and either Shannon or Cressida. No, sorry. My biggest ship is Mon and Rose. Sorry. How could I ever say otherwise? Mon and Rose is my like number one ship. Absolutely. Because as soon as Monique gave me her like childhood girl best friend and then went, oh, by the way, Mon's probably a lesbian, I went, you know what Rose is? And this was before Chapel Road was a big thing where I was just, because we made a joke in B and Faye's one shot where they were talking to Sasha about Rose, and he was just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm trying to pair up people, but it's kind of like, you know, Rose just figured out she's bisexual. That took a long time. She's actually a lesbian, but she hasn't worked it out yet. You have to let it run. Because I'm trying so hard to get them to get together. I will make this happen. What does your ambrosia taste like?
Liquefied tiramisu. I fucking love tiramisu. It's like coffee is such a good flavor profile for me, plus just barely sweet. I do not like sweet. Just barely sweet.
Tequila. Tequila and some type of citrus, or it could be a mango.
Citrus would be good too.
Mine tastes like
mango margarita or banana.
Mine tastes like
those two
blood orange, like soft drink. I fucking love blood orange.
Blood orange is really good.
So good.
Are we all bitter citrus people in this chat? Like, yeah.
Grapefruit and blood orange are my go-to flavors. So good.
I've got lemon right now, but my other go-to is grapefruit.
Grapefruit's good. I don't get it a lot though.
Is that a San Pellegrino?
It is not.
Fuck. The lemonadas go crazy. Anyways.
I am so fucking poor. This is
That's fair. That's what I was gonna say. Bougie. Which of the characters are you most like? NPCs included also.
Wait, repeat?
What
was it? What was the question?
Which of the characters are you most like?
Oh no.
Which one is that's so me for real?
Yeah, it's tough.
I would say it's tough. I see myself a lot in probably Monique and Jezebel. I'll say those two. Not equally. Monique way more. Just the like Monique has the older sibling vibes that I give off exponentially. A lot of my friends call me dad as opposed to my name. So like Monique's mom, so I'm just the dad version of Monique. So there's that, and then just Jezebel's fear of being the problem. That's right here. That's right
It's
here.
me. Hi. Father, help.
I think Shannon for me, actually.
Real.
Yes.
I was gonna say maybe a little bit of Shannon in me as well.
Like, I can see it. Out of everyone, it makes the most sense, honestly.
Are you saying gifted kid burnout, but you're still trying to be gifted?
Yep.
I see that.
Can't you tell by how much I keep trying to do all the time?
Shannon, the best way to describe Shannon is she's like Annabeth if she cared way less about relationships and was a little bit more of a sociopath. Though Shannon isn't a sociopath, she's just... Both Shannon and Cressida have been praised too much in their lives and they've handled it in different ways.
No,
Which
fair.
is just the best way to describe them. At least I've had a little bit of trauma. Yeah, I would say a mixture of Monique and... Thank you for the subs. Chelsea, love you so much.
Thanks for the
Aw,
sub, Chelsea,
Um,
specifically.
yeah,
Maddie,
probably-
I've subscribed to your channel now.
Alright. Probably Monique and... Monique, but with the coping strategies of Sasha, which is not ideal. Let's move on. And finally from Justin, do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Do I know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Who lives on Drury Lane?
Yeah, it lives on
Yes!
No, I don't know that
No.
one.
Alright. Where do you make maps? What resources do you use?
Ah, this is my favorite question because I use a lot of resources, but primarily for Dungeons and Demigods, I have used Inkarnate, Inkarnate. It is a fantastic map builder. Even their basic version, I use their premium subscription version because I use it all the time. But Inkarnate has a lot of free options for you. It's really easy and kind of like streamlined because the assets are already there. You just click and drop them where you want them. But that's my usual 2D go through. I mean, even the maps that are behind me on the wall, those are Inkarnate and they've been printed out. So it's really useful. But when I need 3D maps, I will use Dungeon Alchemist, especially if I'm going to have a map that has moving parts like in it. And then I have on my list to get Canvas of Kings because it looks like a very good simple map builder that I will eventually use. But those are my tops.
Slay. How do you create stat blocks for NPCs? Do you make a whole character sheet or just the main stats? For me, it's a mix of both. So some of the stat blocks I got off of ye old D&D Beyond homebrew. We live for it. A couple Paige made for me. And when it comes to really prominent NPCs, I'll sometimes make a character sheet for them. To be honest, I don't need to. It's more that I got really bored at work and decided to make a character sheet for them. But most of the time, like for example, when I was doing Chiron, I would, before I rolled, come up with like the modifier in my head and just go, his modifier would be this, and then roll just based on it, or do like really general stat blocks. But most of the time it is, yeah, yeah, I use a lot of D&D Beyond homebrew, and then just mix them together. Like the Impuser that you fought was a mixture of an Erinyes, which probably came up the most, and then this random like snake lady stat block, and I just mixed them together and was like, there you go.
For me, it depends. If it's a minion or like general enemies, I usually just find a stat block at like where I think they should be CR wise after like I use my encounter builder to see where I want it to be, and then just shift some stuff like slightly to make a more output enemy. Like that's what I did for the statues in the temple that I made for that one encounter. And then if it's for like a major bad guy, I'll grab one of like the higher level stat blocks that are like a humanoid one, because there's a ton of like high level humanoid stat blocks in D&D, and then I'll just add a shit ton to it, and then probably use like maybe half of what's on the sheet by the time the actual combat goes. I over prep my big bad guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Achilles' stat block I had used previously. I did change a couple of things though, but I think I found 2 stat blocks that people had made of Achilles, and I mixed them together and then worked with some of my friends to make it better. Because the challenge with Achilles, because in the previous campaign that was kind of similar to this one I did, they also fought Theseus. Their whole thing was that they had to fight a lot of the heroes, but I loved the Achilles fight, so I kept it. But they had to fight Theseus, and the main challenge with any of those was that it was a group against one person, and you had to make them scary, which is very hard to do, because it just simply, no one, it's the bat, you don't do that, because they'll get killed way too easily. So with Theseus, we used the environment, the fact they were on a boat, and its storms were doing, and waves were trying to pull people overboard, and that's how we overcame that. But with Achilles, it was, I had to make him be able to do as much as possible in his opening move, because I knew that he was going to immediately get dispelled. So it's how much he can pack on, because his whole thing is dexterity. Hephaestus, wow. Heracles had strength, and Achilles had great speed. So it was all about just him being like Tasmanian devil. So we got that across, and he was terrifying. So proud of that one. I absolutely believe in my whole heart that the party could have defeated him. I do think they would have lost someone, because the only reason they lost Ash, by the way, was because as soon as you hit 0 hit points when you're astral projected, you get yeeted. That was the only reason. If it was Ash down doing death saves, it could have absolutely been possible that they got Ash back up. But absolutely, if I was playing Achilles in a fight, he is an intelligent soldier, and I absolutely wouldn't have held back on doing melee 2 instant fails type beat. But they would have won, because he's only one guy. They would have won. I think it would be really fun one time, just randomly, if we got all of our stat blocks out and you guys just fought Achilles. That would be so fun. Let's break him.
Yeah. Whenever it's a bunch of people against one enemy, no matter how tough they are, the party still typically has the advantage, because there's so many turns before it can do anything again.
Yeah, like with the Impuser that you guys fought, that's why there was those 3 little fire snakes. They had like 10 hit points, but it was the point of they were distractions and also would stop you and take opportunity attacks for you. They were the fodder to make her harder, which a lot of people do, is like have the zombies have the little shithead gangs. That's how you make fights harder easily, is have the crowd. Yeah. But yeah, that's
she didn't
why
have the
Achilles
minions,
was so broken.
and I wasn't using my reaction for them as well. I would have had her locked down within my 10-foot reach the whole time. So.
Yeah, she's crazy. Achilles was insane. If you look at the sheet, you'll be like, this is way too hard.
I've seen
didn't
the
use
fucking sheet.
everything, and I wouldn't have used everything. I think
the best thing for bad guys like that is to get a general concept, load them with a ton of shit, and then just flavor everything in a certain way. Even if you just want to be like, well, I want them to do this, I'll just do a random roll. You might not even be something you have on the sheet, but you're like, in the moment, it made sense for this character to do this thing. Type of situation.
I think I would put Achilles in the hopes that they would win. Because Achilles was a fight they were always going to lose. That was the point. He was the poison fog that they needed to stop. If they were actually going to fight and defeat him and live, I would say a level 9 party, probably. They were level 7. Yeah, level 9 party I think could take him down. Just that little extra.
If they'd made level 9, might not have even gotten Ash down in the first,
Yeah, I don't think so.
flurry.
Yeah.
No, I could have. I had an extra action surge I could have used.
Could have.
Could have, should have, would have. Yeah, he was just rolling so well. Because he got a natural 20 for initiative, by the way, if no one else had picked up on that. Because his initiative was already insane, and then I got a natural 20, and I was like, well... And that's why I rolled for it, because genuinely when I was rolling that d6, in my mind I was going, who am I killing? Who is exiting the dream plane? Because also, main reason I wanted someone down is because someone had to witness Rowan getting taken. That was why I was like, someone needs to go down because they'll be the one to witness Rowan getting taken. That's their thing. And then Ash took that to their grave, so it's like... Alrighty. How do you decide which monster to use and which to change stats? I think we already answered that, kind of.
Pretty much covered that, I think.
How do I decide which monster to use? Well, most of the time, I do want them to be canon. And my main goal was I didn't want to just cherry pick a random monster for a random myth and just chuck them in for shock value. Because most of the time, the monsters, especially as you guys have probably realized in this campaign specifically with this big bad evil guy, they're very intrinsically connected to myths and places and gods and stories, and they wouldn't just show up. So I ran out of them really quickly. I think because I remember it took me a while to figure out that I was going to get you guys to fight Impusa, because I just couldn't think of anything to throw in front of you guys that also hadn't already been used in Percy Jackson a whole bunch. I think my main goal was I just didn't want you guys to fight anything, at least from the first book. So I was like, Medusa was out from day one. I was like, Medusa's not going to show up. She's been there, done that. Been there, done that.
She's on vacation.
She's on vacation. She's chilling. So Medusa is the daughter of Phorcys and Ceto, who are Echidna's parents. It's all a family tree. So, yeah. I would always want it to make thematic sense. So I had an encounter table that there was a land one and a sea one. Though they rolled, because as the campaign progressed, the safe journey ability shrinked, but they kept rolling safe journey, so that was slay. But on there was wild centaurs, nymphs, naiads, sirens, the Cetus, who I thought was going to show up, and I had made a really big likability, but then they rolled that natural 20 and got Scylla instead. So I thought that they were going to fight a sea serpent, and I was really excited. That could show up later. And Charybdis. And then the natural 20 and the natural 1 for the land hasn't been revealed yet. So who knows what that could be. But in terms of deciding which to use, make sure it's thematic and then usually make it work to fit the party's level. And when to change stats, the main things I usually change is I will give them reactions that just mean they can do more and are harder to fight, or I will give them little shit kickers to do more stuff. or just stuff that happens in the landscape to make it harder.
A lot
I
of
love
low-level enemies don't have a lot
using
of stuff like that.
the landscape against
So
them.
you usually throw them either a reaction or a bonus action, and then some type of passive ability or two,
Yeah,
just to balance them out and make them more thematic.
absolutely.
I find I come from it with home games. I do a lot of environmental stuff when I've got
Yeah.
like smaller creatures.
The map
I-
maker does environmental stuff?
Who the
What?
fuck knew,
What?
dude?
Really?
What?
He
No
does?
way.
But yeah, just giving them the ability, putting something on a map that, they have the ability to push the party into or utilize, or even in the opposite spectrum, if I've got a lower level party, but I want to use a harder creature, giving them items in the environment to help them with the situation, creating a
Yeah.
space that could make a cave in, creating a giant pool of lava that's conveniently there to Terminator its ass. There's always options for if you want to use something, you can make it work.
Also, I think the other concern, especially when you're doing actual plays, which I had to do a lot, is how quickly I need this fight to end because we have a lot to do this session. For
That's
example,
why in
when
APs, most of my enemies
Yeah.
don't have hit points. It's
Yeah.
just 5s.
when I'm ready, like for example, when they were driving and fought those air elementals, I very much knew that I wanted them to be in the car, so them just outrunning them was an option. Air elementals are fucking beefy. When I did this
Yeah.
before, I think I had 2 PCs that were downed by air elementals, because, by the way, they were meant
Yeah.
to show up way more than they did as the kind of like wink wink nudge nudge storm theme, but then everyone thinks it's Zeus, but it's not. Ah, there's 2 storms. That was, always the thing of like the storm's patience wanes. And everyone goes, it's Zeus. It's not. It's Typhon, you fucking idiot. Anyways. I have water this time, guys. Look.
You have water.
I just finished my drink.
You cannot hydrate. You have broken the contract.
I did. I just did it 5 seconds before the redeem.
Oh, a
Absolutely.
soothsayer.
So that was always a concern, especially since, as I've mentioned many times, this first season was very much the inquiry season, the political season, the talking to people, working out, traveling. There wasn't a lot of combat, as you probably noticed, or the combat was short, or it wasn't typical, because I don't think we had any super typical standard combat basically the whole time, apart from probably the Harpies. I think the Harpies was like the most standard combat we ever had.
Yeah.
Because that was just the vibes. But then next season is going to be very combat heavy and very classic D&D, which I think will be really fun. Read the prophecy, guys. You might figure out what you meant to do. The last, I think later on when we finish this campaign / when we know what the whole prophecy is and whatever, I'll show you guys the original prophecy that I gave other people, which was about 10 times harder than this one because I'm a psychopath. And I showed the new prophecy to one of the other players I played with, and she went, if they don't figure this out, I'm gonna kill them, because ours was so much harder. And I was like, for example, instead of using the number 4, I used Utopy, which is the 4th muse. See, that was a dick move. All right, I regret that one. That was silly and stupid. And I'll admit it. I'll admit it first. Shouldn't have done that. Anyways, do you balance encounters based on the party, or your rule of cool DM who changes HP depending on creativity? If not, what do you think about changing HP?
Change HP.
Absolutely.
Make the game fun.
It's kind of like if a party member does this insane move and the guy is left with 2 hit points. Boring. Give them the how do you want to do this. Unless it is going to be more interesting story-wise. Like sometimes even someone will pull off something insane, but you, with this villain, want to do something really important story-wise that isn't going to necessarily completely fuck over your players, and you're just like, I'm going to add like a couple more HP just so I can do this one thing. and then die. I've done
Yeah.
that a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think I
Or-
did it with Impuser. I can't remember. Because I just wanted the stakes to be higher.
Yeah.
By the way, that wasn't so I could get an extra hit at you, Paige. I swear.
The whole thing about adding HP is you don't always, like, if you have a BBEG that the party, because they're very good at what they do, and because I personally in my home game play with a lot of min-maxers, the boys are wonderful. They min-max to hell, and I will wring their necks someday for it. Kiki and I have dealt with this a lot, but if you've got a BBEG and you have to have them meet with the party, but your party are murder hobos and they will go after that BBEG with everything they have, use it to your advantage. You know, add the HP, just keep track of how like strong they've gotten. We strengthen our BBEGs alongside like our players. And then most importantly, if they do something that should absolutely rock the BBEG's socks off and should kill them, if you cannot kill them because your story just cannot handle it, this is your opportunity to give your BBEG that scar, or that like they've been disabled permanently, or anything else that will make the party know that they've had a real effect. But this person is just that strong that they're going to like power through that, and they've just been changed and altered by that for their entire existence.
Or you do the classic, they were a simulacrum, eat rocks.
Oh my god.
Kick rocks, bitch.
Matt Mercer! When I get you, Matt Mercer!
No, don't worry, I've had that done to my party before. It was fucking
or you make them
awful.
cry and they kill the big bad evil guy, and it ends up being an NPC they like in disguise.
Ooh.
That they just like powered up or some shit to make them fight him.
Yeah, fair Mats. Do the exact same thing. Which is just like, I won't ever do it so I can like kill or punish the players. It's simply to make the combat more interesting and more fun for them. Because I don't think it's fun as a player to just immediately defeat something. I want a challenge.
Yeah.
Like my favorite combats are challenging combats where I am forced to strategize and I freak out. Like, those are my favorites. I have had some combats where I've gotten so close, and those are the most memorable for me. Like, every single one of us will make it out, but we feel like we earned it. Which,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never, unless it's specifically a campaign that from the front's going to have a high possibility of death, I'm going to make any big combat feel hard. If you guys blow through it, then that enemy is going to have more health or more minions they can summon to delay it. But then the opposite's true. Like, it's a drawn-out battle and they get to a big moment and they're like at 2 HP and you do something cool, I'm going to let you do something cool. I'm not going to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
It just depends on the vibes of the situation. It's also like why big bad guys don't ever encounter the party alone for me anymore. I've had too many people just run in and interrupt all the dialogue and just immediately start beating the shit out of the person.
Yeah, you can tell I had so many backup plans for that with Echidna, where I was just like, as soon as they were like, oh, I'm gonna like try and kill Echidna, I was like, she didn't have time stop before, but by God, she has it right now. And by the way, I will say, just both to the players and to the people at hand, anything she did with like time stop and shutting down people's spells was absolutely her manipulation of mind and the dream plane. She could only do that in the dream plane. It was, I think Makala had said that she didn't know the dream plane as well as the dream denizens. She doesn't, but she had been there for months and is very much flavored to be like a mind break individual, so she could manipulate the dream plane very well. And yeah, that's what she did, by the way. She just manipulated the dream plane. But because I told the players from day one that they didn't need to take counterspell because it wasn't going to be useful, but they could take dispel magic, and then they didn't, so I gave them a dispel magic rock. But because I was like, I think I said to you guys, I was like, I need to give them an item that has Dispel Magic in it. And then I was like, oh, I might give them like a spell storing ring, because I think that would be, because then they can use it later. Because I don't think, because then also it gives them an opportunity to strategize for themselves. Yeah, it's really fun. Cool. Thanks for those questions, Oz. They were very interesting. Why do you hate us? From Kiki on behalf of the cast. Because it's funny.
Hey Kiki, you're the one who killed me, okay? So like...
Sorry, Kiki. I'm
you
pretty
killed
sure
us, Kiki.
every single one of those party members are alive, and also I'm pretty sure you're the one who made them leave. That was you, bud. The best part about that last session is in my mind, was being like, oh, Cersei's making points right now, and then Violet left, and I was like, shit. I also think solely it was like, I had a point in my head, and I was not getting... I was rewatching it, and I was like, the point I was trying to get across, unreadable.
Yeah.
Which was, she was trying to get the point across of, like, a very similar conversation she'd had with Tessa, which was that, like, with Cersei's whole thing was that she had abilities from her mother and father, but all of the power that she has, that she's known for, she took for herself and is her own. And she was trying to be like, you have your luck and you should use it because it's yours and it's powerful. And like, to like avoid the power you have just because you think it belongs to your mother or it doesn't belong to you or you're scared of it. Don't do that. Use what you have. Like, you're powerful. You're an adult. You know how to do it now. Use what you have, please. I'm giving you permission. Do you need help? And Milo went, you don't know how I feel. I'm leaving. And Cersei was like, damn shit. Cersei said, I probably know how you feel the most out of any immortal you've ever met. Quite literally.
So, I have also been in that position where it's like the second someone says, I know how you feel, I'm like, I'm done with this conversation. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what you're saying, because how dare you say that?
How dare you try to relate to my pain?
How dare you relate to me?
and when Cersei said I should hate Zeus more than anyone, and then Milo's like, I could think of someone that could hate Zeus more. I was like, I don't think you know Cersei's life. This is literally all Zeus's fault. He was the one that trapped her on this island, killed her boyfriend, killed her son, and her boyfriend. And, like, made her life endless suffering. She's very upset. She's been forced to live for thousands of years, endlessly punished. Immortality is her punishment, and I believe that with my whole heart. Was there any point in the campaign where the PCs did something unexpected, either in game or with the tools you provided?
I wasn't expecting them to cool the forge down in like what, one round?
Yeah,
they
really
managed that
well.
in one round? That was crazy.
To be fair, it was like, it wasn't one round rules as written, but technically, yeah.
But it
they did
like,
very well.
Even so, it was the most well-oiled machine I think we saw them from that like point in the campaign.
Yeah.
That was just straight up like, all right, you're going there, I'm going here, we're going there together, and then you're going there, and we're done. And it was like,
I think that's what happens when you put puzzles in front of D&D players, is they forget about their characters completely and just go completely out of character and go like, all right, we need to solve this.
Yeah.
Which is so fair, because puzzles can be so hard to do in character.
Nah, I commit to the bit. If I'm playing a character that won't figure this out, then I won't figure this out.
But I was impressed that it kind of did feel in character, because it was mostly like Monique and Theo giving out like, hey, I see this, we need to do this, because it was very mechanical, and it was very like, you go here, you go here, you go here.
Yeah.
And then it was everybody else just like, all right, I'm going where I'm told, and I'm doing what was said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew I wanted them to do something while they were up there, because very much everything that happened in Etna was worked out the week before, because we didn't know that they were going to go there, which I was, by the way, so happy about, because I was like, fuck yes, a challenge, because that's what I love. That's why I gave them that open where I was like, please go anywhere, and they went, hi, we'd like to go to the place that you pointed out to us on a map, and I went, that's fucking fair, yeah, let's go there. And I knew at the time they weren't going to find anything, but I knew I still wanted them to learn stuff and gain things and feel like it was worth the trip, which it was. because they finally let go of that fucking theory that they can rebuild the bolt. No. No.
It was, you figured out what you wanted them to do there like a week before, and I think the morning of, for me, you messaged me and you were like, hey, do you think we can map? And I was like, all right.
Yeah, I think
Let's go.
I texted you and I was like, please say no. Please say no if you can't, because I know that you work. But if there's any chance you have time to do this, it would be very cool.
My favorite thing about working in an office setting where my boss generally gets in like 2 hours after me is the first 2 hours of the day. If I check all my emails and I handle the phones, my computer's my computer and I can do what the fuck I want with it as long as I'm not working a service.
Because I just knew if I was describing what they had to do, it would have been really hard to like picture and do. So like the map was literally just used like as a visual standpoint for them to like tick off, and I liked that because it was so much more useful for them, because I knew I didn't want to combat because it couldn't be long because they had to get a lot done that session. So I was like, they've got to be able to do it quick. And then I just thought it would be like a cute little challenge. And then we got the whole thing where they finally figured out Thea's backstory. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Anything PCs did unexpected in game or with the tools? I don't think so. Like anything unexpected, it was always just like such an exciting thing that I was just like, cool, and I was like, this is part of it.
No, I think anything that was unexpected really just ended up being like, oh, maybe it wasn't maybe it was unexpected, but it just straight up felt right, so it doesn't feel unexpected.
I really
it's
liked
just seeing how they figure it out. I mean,
oh, the stream's lagging.
You can't really know what's gonna happen, so it's just kind of vibes.
Yeah. Is that for everyone? That's sad.
Doesn't look like it's lagging on my end.
No, it doesn't look so on mine either.
Kiki, you're the problem.
Kiki, I love you, but your internet is fighting you again. Is it storming outside? Oh, it's getting dark.
Oh no, it froze. We were talking so much shit about you. Kidding. 60 seconds. I was gonna say we haven't been streaming
60 minutes
for 60
is wild.
minutes.
We haven't been on for an hour yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think probably the most unexpected thing every single time. Oh, the 2 party members leaving. Didn't fucking expect that at all. But I think everything unexpected always happened in roleplay when they were talking to each other. Nothing like mechanical or using the tools. It was always when they were talking to each other and coming up with really interesting perspectives and interesting fights and all of that. But absolutely, that whole thing took me for a loop. And I remember that's why I kind of had to like tuck in and be like, guys, just so you know, if you choose to leave, like there are multiple options, but if you choose to leave, you will be returning with new characters. Because I knew I just had to be like, by the way, guys, I'm not splitting this campaign. Like if you do this, you're gonna do this, or you can have this alignment and stay with the party. There are a couple of things, but then they chose to leave, and then we will and we have talked in length about what we're going to do. But I will say, cute announcement, we will be running a one-shot with Kiki and B about Myla and Ash's journey to Athens, just as a little bit of a wrap-up and a little bit of a goodbye before we do our new season. And right now we're looking at the 22nd of August. That might change. But also as a little announcement, Kiki and B don't know this, so this is also an announcement for them, is that we will be joined by a very special guest, which is Hannah of Hannah Plays T&D will be joining as a guest.
I wonder why that could be.
Reprising her role. So it will be those 3, and I'm so freaking excited. It will be a very cute one-shot. We will be streaming it. And
it's always so good.
That will probably hopefully be in late August, but we will give you guys plenty of notice. But yeah, that should be really, really fun. have a nice, good, solid goodbye, and also let Kiki and B kind of figure out what they want to do with these characters while they let that play out. But yeah, it's gonna be so fun. James, are you single?
Did my girlfriend ask this?
Yeah.
It's a trap.
No, not currently single. I have 2 partners, so probably not a great idea to be single when that's the case.
That. James, did you hide any secrets in your maps that could have been found with checks or spells, or just in general? Any Easter eggs?
There are absolutely like little things here and there. One of which is in a map that we didn't actually get to use because there's a map for the boat. And I added the lion head for Ayaya on the front of the boat as like the yeah, the what's the thing at the front on the helm?
The
I don't
bow?
know, but I know what you're talking about.
Or bow? Yeah. Sometimes there's like a figurehead. That's
Thank
the
you,
word.
that's
a
it.
figurehead. And then the Ayaya lions, the lion was also on the car on the upholstery. And it did also make an appearance in the dungeon that we just went through in the Dreamscape.
Yeah, it did. We love lions in this house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also one of Justin's questions. Were there any maps that weren't used this season? I totally forgot about it.
I think that was the boat was unused,
which
and
was
the
ironic
interior
because it was the first one I told you to make.
It was, and then the interior of the hill also did not get used because they ended up not fighting the Cyclops.
I 100% that boat map will be used at some point.
Oh, eventually, for sure. Don't slip.
Nope. Yeah, because it was like having our land encounter map and our water encounter map for any encounter rolls. That was what was that for, but they kept rolling really well.
But yeah, there's always stuff hidden in the maps. Generally, it's not like a big secret. But I'll always put little nods to characters, or in the case of like the forge, I made sure there were items that were like key to like Hephaestus's like whole deal. Like there's a crutch in the forge on the floor near the tools, like as an extra like leaning stick. There was extra rope available in the hill in case they didn't want to fly the black sheep like a balloon and instead wanted to try and drag it where it was going. So yeah, just little things.
Yeah, and I think one that I can't remember who caught it. It was either Kiki or Faye, I think, where like I had told you for the big fight room at the top of the tower that I wanted it to look like a decrepit Olympus in the astral plane.
Yes.
And someone noticed that Hephaestus's chair was broken because he's dead, and that was very slow. I liked that. Little Easter eggs.
I dropped a column on it.
I remember you sent me the first one, and I was like, more blood, and I wanted a bunch of bodies in the corner. Let our bodies hit the floor. Everyone, if there was one moment you wish wasn't left to a dice roll and could instead be narrated, which moment would that be? Ooh.
Well, I'm trying to think about what moments were dice rolls versus narrated, because even the rolls that were like fully based, even the moments that were fully based on rolls, this group was so good about having role play.
Yeah.
So they became narrative.
Probably Dionysus's reveal, because that was full DM era that I then just yes-anded. But then had to like yes-and a little bit more later, because I realized truly how many mistakes that I'd made, which was I forgot how legendary resistances work, which is an auto success. For some reason I convinced myself it was advantage. It's fucking not, by the way. And that I used his check. No, I used his modifier rather than his wisdom saving throw. So I gave him a plus 12 instead of a plus 18. And considering he has a plus 18 to wisdom saving throws, and Jezebel's DC was a 16, he should have made it. So then we later made it so that it was just he wanted to fuck around and find out. Because yeah, I rolled a 2 and a 4, and then, yeah, I think him rolling a 2 and a 4 for his wisdom saving throw, I later said was him deciding to do this for the bit and, like, not thinking it through was him rolling that 2 and 4. But yeah, I revealed it too quickly and then realized, fuck, he should have succeeded. But also that was like the funniest moment ever, and I was really glad we had it because it was a massive character moment for Jezebel to push her forward with a lot of this. So I'm so glad it happened. I just wish I did it more gracefully.
I think of any moment, I love Mila's decision not to go to Theo's in the last episode. But I do, like, no shade to my beloved partner, Kiki. But choosing to make that a coin flip, like, you don't have to flip for that. You can do that narratively.
Say it with your whole chest.
You got
Don't
this.
blame
Say
the
it with
dice.
your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Don't be afraid. Say it with your chest.
Coward.
And
Oh
then,
no, it wasn't just a coin flip. It was actually dice rolls. Like, she had him, like, roll persuasion and stuff like that too on top of that. But, like, say it with your chest.
say it with your chest. Just do it. Y'all wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I don't think there's any that stand out to me, because I feel like every time there was a roll for a bit situation, it ended up being very narrative anyway. So, like,
it all works out creepily well, which I love.
Yeah. The nature of TTRPGs, I suppose.
Oh,
it's very rare that you roll
we all
something
just
in the big
make it
moment
work.
and you're like, okay, so I succeeded. Let's what happens. No, it's people usually play out what happens in bid situations like that anyway. So.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I think probably the only other thing that I wouldn't have left up to a dice roll is... actually, no, I liked how it went. Because with the Achilles fight, what I wanted to happen is I wanted it to take them around to figure out that they had to dispel them. But they're very intelligent, and they figured it out literally immediately. I think it was solely that we're, like, knowledgeable about D&D and aware. I think, and also I specifically said, I was like, oh, it's astral projection, the spell, which, yeah. Because definitely what I would have wanted to happen is I wanted to reduce someone to very low and then them figuring it out and then me dropping them. Just like, I wanted him to be there for a little bit longer. But as soon as they were like, oh, we have to dispel him, I was like, I gotta work quick. Who's gonna die?
I got a time limit.
From Tara. Maddie, how did you and James coordinate making those fun puzzle maps? I had said from the beginning that I was going to have 2 dungeons in this campaign, and one of them was a big one, which was this one. And when I had done it before, it was a standard dungeon that was based on common phobias. And then I think we were all talking because it was happening soon, and I was just like, maybe we should do it for their fears. Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of
a whole call for that dungeon. Like,
yeah,
we specifically had a
I actually
call
have
for that.
my map notebook right here where
Oh my god.
I have all the notes from our call.
Yeah, I have like bullet point notes somewhere in my notebook from that conversation.
Yeah. Because I had originally asked them for their greatest fears for a different reason, which was that originally when they would have dreamed when Morpheus was under Echidna's control, they would have just had horrific nightmares. So I would have had like full nightmare sequences for each of them, which was the original plan. And it also meant that I had it for Phobos and Deimos, which was great. But I had them for the dungeon, and I was like, we can use this. And then it was, just brainstorming how we can translate their fears into a puzzle. We wanted some of them to be combat, some of them to just be standard puzzles, some of them to take longer, some of them to be really quick. And we went through multiple iterations for everyone. We had one originally for Monique that we never ended up building because we knew she wasn't going to be there, which was good. But then I just did the Hephaestus one just as a quick narrative to give her something to do in that room, but it wasn't actually a puzzle. Yeah.
Oh, who was the hardest to translate from fear to dungeon? Oh, Mila, I think, for sure. Like, the puzzle has almost nothing to do with, like, Mila being involved. Mila's fear is all about them, the whole party having to do the puzzle without her, and not knowing that they're doing it for her, just thinking they're going to move on. So it's like, trying to figure out how to put, like, originally Mila's thing was like we were gonna have monsters based on like superstitions, so like black cat, like horseshoe something. We had a couple ideas.
It was
for
gonna
bad
be
luck
like
things.
it was gonna be in darkness, so that like no one that I think the whole thing was about like Mila being abandoned or left behind or ending up alone. And then I think we'd come up with the thing and we knew she was going to be in the well. And then originally I think it was going to be that she couldn't hear anyone. And then I went, I'm going to do it so every time anyone speaks to her, they hear that she's going to leave her behind. And I was like, woohoo! Which was a dick move.
Of all of them, Jezebel was the easiest, just because it's built in. Crown of Madness. It's right there, you know?
Though originally we were going to give something similar to Ash, where I've told this be this, where they were going to go into a cabin and the cabin was going to start burning, and then the party would turn around and would see Kaya, and they'd start fighting Kaya, and then Ash would be on the other side of a window looking in, and they would see instead the party fighting an evil version of themselves. But then I went, I think this is going to hit harder for Jezebel. And also, Ash keeps mentioning a fear of water. I think we should just run with that.
Yeah, we just threw Ash in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
I wanted them all to be a little... and it ended up working out really well in the end. And I said this to B, where I was just like... I kind of regretted Ash's room, because I was like, it doesn't feel as, like, really, like, kind of personality, like, integral as a lot of the other rooms did, where it critiqued parts of you. And then I said, it doesn't matter, because you got critiqued anyways, where you were faced with death immediately afterwards. You all ended up very on equal footing in the end. Yeah. I think my favorite was probably Jezebel's. It was really fun. I listen, a Crown of Madness trap works every time.
My favorite build was Theo's.
It was fun.
Loved Theo's build.
They did that so quickly.
They did it so fast. That's another one I was surprised by how fast they did it. But you made it really easy for them to want to do it fast, because you had narrated that Theo was being pulled with the chains toward the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome, because we didn't discuss that. I was just like, there's chains here to hold Theo in place, because we know Theo wants to move.
He didn't want to feel entrapped and like contained, so I was like, I'm gonna make this more claustrophobic and like have him getting like more and more chained down. But yeah. Similarly, if not already answered, did you test the puzzles / how did you decide on the time limits? I decided on the time limits 2 seconds before I said them to the party, because I just like vibed it out from like how, and then for testing the puzzles, it was that I looked at all of them before James told me what they were, and like quickly figured out if I could get it. And I remember with Mila's puzzle, I got it immediately. I was like, cool, they just stand on the letters to spell them out. And I went, this one's easy, but it's also like gonna be the last one, so it's fine. And they didn't get that immediately, and I was like, and because I gave them such a short time frame, because I was like, this one's really easy.
Maddie, you can't judge self.
But I didn't build it. I didn't build it.
There's a reason you're a wizard, mate.
I treated it like any other puzzle, and I was like, okay, if I can get it with no context, they'll be fine.
What we did wrong is we should have also given it to Paige, because Paige would have been like a third uninvolved party, and Paige would have been like, what is spelling? And we would have been fine.
Because I just knew as soon as someone was like, can I make an investigation check? I was like, oh, thank God. And I was just like, yeah, the tiles look like they can be pushed down. And they were like, the tiles look like they can be pushed down. It took them a second to be like, oh, we could. And then finally when they figured it out, I was like, yeah, you get it. Fuck you guys.
That reminds me of a dungeon I did once. I did like 7 Deadly Sins dungeon, because I almost always use the 7 Deadly Sins in campaigns, and it was the think it was the sloth room, and it was like a room full of tiles, and they had to get to the end and hit a button to like open the door. And they spent so much time there that they couldn't figure it out. All you had to do was just walk through and touch every single tile without stopping. That was all you had to do. Because every time you would stop, you would get teleported back to the start. And they spent so much time trying to figure out patterns and shit until someone's like, you know what, I'm just going to walk. And I'm like, there you go.
You did it. That's
all you had to do.
PT had asked, I beg to know character details / stats for Achilles, and I'm pulling them up. He was very, very hard. Yeah, we mentioned scary. Before. I think
very scary.
He's CR 15. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like I said, he was designed to kill one of you and then leave. So, but yeah, I'd love for you guys to one day like fight him, because yeah, he killed whole armies. He's very scary. Yeah, this is him. So his base was a Battlemaster fighter, was how it kind of started. But then his main things were that he had really high dexterity and also the invulnerability. Luckily, most of them had magical weapons by this point, so he was completely invulnerable to all non-magical attacks unless they were aimed at his ankle. And if they aimed magical attacks at his ankle, he would have been vulnerable to that damage. He had superior critical, so all of his attacks on a 18 to 20 would have been a critical, but I think in the moment I would have changed that to just 19 or 20. He had fortune points, which are essentially just legendary resistances, but instead they were kind of like flavored to be more like the fact that he's blessed by the gods. And yeah, he also had some extra feats, like he had leader's words, which didn't matter in this circumstance. He had mobile, and yeah, so he could dash through difficult terrain. He didn't provoke opportunity attacks. When he makes an attack against a creature, standing up only took 5 feet of his movement. And he had some attacks that I never ended up using, like he has whirlwind attack, possibly, that he can use. And then he has his sword, his spear, and his shield. And then his bonus actions were the one where you can tip it around and use the butt. He had second wind and also his rage. His rage is not like most rages. It is actually very detrimental to him. So he gets way weaker as rounds go on. Every time he hits a creature, he adds 15 to his movement speed, and when he is able to reduce an opponent to 0 hit points, he can take another action. I did not do that because he technically killed Ash on a legendary action, so it didn't count. And when his rage ends, his speed is halved and his vulnerability goes down. And then his reactions were just the classic parry, riposte, and yeah, legendary actions were, he had 3 total. One of them used 2 actions, which was just to make an attack, and then he had fast step, which is when he can move his movement speed out of melee with a creature and into melee with another creature without provoking opportunity attacks. So yeah, he was just really fast. But he was very fun to make, and I'd love to like fully fight a party with him one day. That would be fun. I think they could take him. I'm convinced. Maddie, how much fun was it getting to go apeshit? By that, of course, I mean all the beautifully horrific death and gore. What death? Anyways, it was really fun. Definitely the dream plane was really interesting because it is very horrifying to think about, because like what had been 3 days for you guys was 30 days in the dream plane. To think that like the denizens of the Dreamplate had suffered under this for over a year. Hypnos had held out against torture for 4 weeks before you guys managed to get to him. So he did a really good job. We're all very proud of him. Yeah, because I definitely wanted it to be the whole thing of like, this evil person is terrifying because they've managed to hurt a god. And there's god blood on the floor. 2 gods are scared and terrified. That's not good. Especially since Echidna and Typhon were quite literally created to kill the gods. They are the Predathos. Can get into it. But yeah, it was really fun. I like doing scary.
Scary good.
Scary good. For me, what is something that the players have established that you look forward to seeing in season 2? Definitely, I'm keen to see how this will change all of them, because I've already had some of them in my DMs talking. Some of them are doing class changes, because this definitely is going to have a massive impact on the party, and I'm just keen to see how much it's going to change them as people, especially for all of them. Yeah, Monique, Jezebel, and Theo absolutely are going to be very different people next season, and I'm excited about that. Like, Monique is forging weapons again, which is crazy. Jezebel, oh, it's going to be so interesting. Faye and I have had many conversations. And Theo, just seeing how this has affected him all, because it is very interesting, because I would have 100% bet anything that Theo would be the most likely to turn against the gods out of everyone in the party. And he's kind of, against all odds, stuck with this side, because he's loyal to his friends, and I think that's really cool. I think I'm really, another thing I've established, which I'm keen to look at, is Hermes in general and his relationship to Theo, because especially in the last session, one of my favorite little moments, which I think just like ended up getting caught up in everything else that happened, was Chiron telling Monique something that Hermes had told him many years ago, where he said there were 2 things he wanted more than anything. The first thing he didn't say, but the second thing was that he wished that the first time he met his children wasn't when he was leading them to Hades. And just, because I think I've kind of been sliding in there throughout the whole thing, which Justin, by the way, he's picked up on it, everyone, is that Hermes is paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, he's doing what he can, but it's very subtle.
Yeah.
But he's there. He's there. Yeah. Tee-hee-hee. Is there anything you guys looking forward to doing or seeing in season 2?
I'm delighted by the fact that because it's going to be a little more combat, or a little more like traditional Dungeons and Dragons style, there's going to be a lot of different things we can do with maps. You know, I'm the map guy. I'm going to talk about maps. But I am excited to see
so many enemies,
so many new monsters. But I'm excited now that we have a precedent set for what maps are generally like and what the players are generally like. Now we know where we can twist and pull and change things to make it new and fresh.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm just very excited to see what happens next. And I will make things less letter-filled this time.
I'm so excited. Yeah, welcome, Quincy. Yeah, the players still haven't figured out that thing, by the way. Hey, Paige, do me a favor. Look in... Oh, wait, I don't know if you have it. I don't think I put it in the group notes. I think I just put it in with the players. Did you see the list of demigods that left the island?
I think Was that in like one of the on chats or something?
I think I might.
No,
have
I think you put it
actually-
just in the players.
I did.
Here's the fun thing about working behind the scenes with Maddie is sometimes she's like, "What do you think about that thing I sent?" And we're like, "Where did you send it?"
And I go, fuck.
And sometimes the answer is just in my dream.
I put it in Mud's chat.
Oh, what was our favorite moments this season?
Ha! Randall, you fucker.
They haven't figured it out yet. Because I just went,
Oh,
Randall, but, and then watch all of them go, who's the next one? And I was like, no, that's Quincy's guest character. Quincy's guest character
You're gonna
joined the
have
dark
to
side.
fight her bestie. We're gonna fight Quincy.
Hey, listen, it makes sense for him.
Because I went the other way. Gloria's full on can't buy Aya's like leadership now.
I don't have a character in camp yet.
And then John's character is just wherever. Like we don't even know honestly.
James's character is actually
Just
Francis.
invention.
He's just a really angry guy who likes maps and or to
Yeah,
be
so
an angry
James.
Scottish
Fuck
guy
off!
who likes maps
Fuck
and
off!
his boat.
Oh my god.
Like, I don't see you fucking off. Can you fuck off?
Oh,
Okay,
but
yeah, what
favorite
was your
moments this
favorite?
season. I think it's tough, but I think for me, Monique reuniting with Hephaestus
That is
was
mine. Absolutely.
just not even reuniting, meeting Hephaestus and just being so like father-daughter so immediately. It was like, we are family.
Yep.
Mine was Kaya killing Hephaestus.
There are two kinds.
It set the tone immediately.
if
did.
I'm terribly honest, actually, I know it's Hephaestus and Monique related, but my favorite might be in the dream realm, Monique's nightmare of Hephaestus.
That's what I thought you were
So
saying.
it's like-
My favorite moment is was Hephaestus and Monique in Monique's dream when they talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My second favorite is probably Kaya's reveal, because I think when it was the
That's a
other
good moment.
NPC reveals, it didn't hit as hard because definitely like they knew ahead of time, but Kaya was so left field and they did not see it coming, and B's reaction was so good.
Honorable
But-
mention is anything that Dionysus was there for, because just
My most quoted moment is Jezebel going, smells like a dead dog. Why do you know what a dead dog smells like? Questions. But yeah, definitely my favorite moment, both like as a DM and watching back, was Hephaestus and Monique talking in the dream realm, solely because that's probably like the proudest I've ever been of myself as a role player, because I was looking back on it, I was like, this seems like I like rehearsed, but it was completely improv, and I was like, I feel like this is my magnum opus. It's all been leading to this.
those are the best moments.
It just led to so many like lines and definitely defined Monique's character a bit, and just you can see the whole time I'm role playing, you can see me, I can't stop smiling tiny because in my brain I was going, this is so fucking good. And I definitely think, yeah, my favorite like roleplay moment within that was when she goes like the I will not falter, and then him going, you will, but you'll get up and continue because failure is what makes you who you are and so much better than us. Went crazy. And then when that did really well on TikTok, I was like, yay. And that got a lot of new watches, that video. My favorite moments were when Justin played the long game and set up a nice moment for someone so special, and it completely backfired. That was
Damn.
pretty good.
Yeah. I think that Theo
Also,
had a lot of good moments
lightning.
to help. Theo had a lot of good moments to like help facilitate the idea that demigods don't get good treatment from their parents. And then Monique had a lot of good moments to show that demigods can have good moments with their parents, but it's the rules that are in the way. Like,
Oh, 100%.
It's
And then-
all about finding the loopholes.
Mila
to
had
do
so
that.
many good moments about keeping the party together until it was like and now my string has snapped, and I'm, two sides of a coin. One is keeping them all together, and one is we're going. So it's very nice.
Definitely one of my favorite themes the whole time was that, like, nothing is as you assume it to be, and everything is far more complicated than you think it is. And just how, like, I think probably Cersei's perception of the gods is the most accurate, though it is biased, of being like, you can't think to empathize with the gods because they're too complicated, but also they're just humans who have lived for a very long time and are really powerful. And I wanted to bring that humanness into them a lot, where a lot of them are just very resigned of, like, this is how it is. But I think one of my main things that I really wanted to do was kind of go in with, like, the knowledge that I have on Greek mythology and fix some of the quote-unquote mistakes that Rick had made, mainly being his Aries. I don't like his Aries, and I changed it because I wanted him to absolutely be the Aries that everyone thinks he is, but also show the side of him that is representative of the very heights of human emotion, because that's what he represents, is just the bad parts that humans don't want to focus on, and he's the person that deals with them and faces them. I loved the moment of Jezebel connecting with Ares the first time and seeing him in his vulture form, and she was just, like, going into it being like, this is Ares, he's a fun, funky little guy. And then me just being like, oh, he's a vulture right now because vultures come after death, and you can tell that he's an intense morning. And I think that's when the party was like, oh yeah, Hephaestus is his brother, and no, it wasn't just Monique's father. Like, these people are a family, and Ares and Hephaestus don't like each other at all, but they are, like, blood siblings, like, same parents, grew up together, and both
same parents,
absolutely
same wife,
same wife,
just
and both suffer greatly under the perceptions that other people have of them, and both suffer of being ignored by their parents and thinking the other one receives more attention, even though both of them don't. They're so interesting. And I knew that one of the party members was gonna, like, try and get on him, and he was just immediately like, I could kill you right now, or you could just fucking be smarter, okay? How about that? And it was Milo. I thought it was gonna be Theo. Let's be real, we all thought it was gonna be Theo.
Yeah, probably.
start the car.
Using the emotions from Inside Out to match them with the party members.
Oh my god.
No. Okay, so, like, if only from the new movie, then we've got ennui, which is, boredom.
That's Jezebel.
Yeah. 100%. We got anxiety. We've got embarrassment, envy, and nostalgia, I think, is the other new one from this movie.
Yeah,
Envy is Theo.
I would agree with that. Envy for Theo, ennui for Jezebel.
And then embarrassment, anxiety, and nostalgia. Nostalgia, I think, is Monique, because she's stuck in the past.
Yeah,
she's definitely stuck back there. That anxiety and embarrassment.
I think Mila would be more so embarrassment, not now, but in the past. Very much everything in her life was built on her reputation and what people thought of her. And then anxiety, Ash.
Yeah, there's no question that's Ash. Like,
100%.
just the little worried one must be anxiety. Although I do think that if we're going with if we're going to consider the original emotions from the first movie, I think Mila is going to get anger now. I think Mila
Yeah,
can have
100%.
righteous anger for sure.
And
For sure.
I think Ash is more fear than anxiety.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would
I think
agree.
so too.
Yeah. But absolutely,
But disgust is only shit.
100%.
absolutely. Oh, disgust is Sasha. If we're adding
Sasha,
in,
yeah.
we're
Sasha.
adding in NPCs. Joy would be Hugo.
Aw, yeah.
I don't know what Gloria would be. I feel like not. I don't know if it would be anger, honestly.
No, I
It's
don't think
tough.
so either.
I think
No.
it might be envy, actually,
Yeah.
towards Gloria, because
A lot of
how
you three
long of
would
trying to prove herself.
a
I
lot
feel
of
like
you
envy.
a lot of you three would get envy.
I feel like our whole
Honestly.
trio from the one
Yeah.
shot was envy.
Oh,
Honestly.
absolutely.
We were the bitchy people at camp.
Absolutely. Anyways, if you could do a campaign based off of a different mythology as DM or player, which other mythos would you be interested in and why?
Ooh.
Roman,
mean,
kidding.
The easy answer
I
for
love them
me is
all.
I do love a lot of mythologies. The one I know the most about is Christian mythology, and that's,
Hmm.
part of the benefit of living with the trauma of being
That
raised
would
in a
actually,
Catholic household.
a Christian base,
Um,
that would go crazy.
It would go hard. And I mean, Paige, you were even saying that you do the seven deadly sins a lot.
I use it so much.
I've debated doing a series that's Dante's Inferno
Oh,
based.
that would be
Um,
so good.
but the actual one, my real answer is not a religious mythology. It's cryptozoology. Cryptozoology as a mythology to be used as a campaign
That is so
basis
cool.
would go so hard with like a Southern Gothic theme. I want a Southern Gothic theme. I want cryptozoology. I'm just recreating Hunt Showdown, but I want that as a D&D campaign.
It's just supernatural. Get into it. For me, probably like Gaelic folklore is so terrifying, and I love it.
It really is.
I love it so much. I don't know enough about it, but God, if I'm not a little researcher, God, if I don't like a research. I didn't actually do a lot for this campaign because I'd done too much previously, but I remember, you know those videos on YouTube? I'm so obsessed with them where they do the like blah support and it's like people ask questions about to an expert about something. And I was watching the one about like Spartans and ancient Greeks where people just answer questions about that, and every time any of them asked a question I knew the answer and I was like, it's gone too far. It's gone too far. Because yeah, old campaign was set in ancient Greece in I think it was 1400 BCE was when it was set. And it was, and I just remember, like, I kept saying, I was like, it's not going to be historically accurate. And then I kept way too much. And I kept being like, and guys, I'm including this. And technically this doesn't happen until 300 BCE, but we're just going to, and they'd be like, we don't care. I need you to remember that no one cares except for you. And I was like, but what if someone is checking my stats? All right. What if they know that the organized crime wasn't invented until 300 BC? What if they know? Anyways,
Okay. Yeah,
get into
I want
it.
to dive more into Egyptian mythology, and I have a mummy-based campaign offline I'm supposed to run for someone here at this chat and some other people.
Put my old man to rest. Kill him.
And if you don't think that it's definitely not just based on the mummy. I have been deep diving into all Egyptian mythology for this campaign, so I'm so excited.
And I'm playing an old British soldier, so he definitely knows everything about Egyptian mythology. I'm gonna have to turn off my Egyptian mythology brain in order to play accurately.
Alright, I think that was our last question in the Discord. Yay. So if anyone has any other questions, feel free to put them in the Discord or put them in the chat. You are more than welcome. Otherwise...
My question is, Maddie, why are you so great?
Shut up. I'll kill you. Shut up.
I
You
get
shut
to
your
see
fucking whore
Maddie
mouth.
in 3 weeks in real life.
Yay! We all get to see
What
each other
the
in 3
fuck?
weeks.
I get to touch. I can
We get-
touch you.
We'll
I'm
now.
gonna tackle you both.
take a picture just for the Discord of the evil chat all together. The
Yep.
two of us behind Maddie, like
I-
little evil
I-
eels.
I already promised Kiki to fully just lomp on top of them when I see them. So,
Yeah.
Oh, Kiki and I are making out. I don't. Did you?
I mean, yeah, you should go for it.
I need a list of I really need a list of all the people who are planning on making out with my partner that have permission to do so. That way I don't like react badly if it just happens. Because I don't need to give permission to do it. That's fully her bodily autonomy. But to be aware of it happening would
Yeah.
be greatly beneficial to
You
me.
have to kiss all
all
the
I
homies
want
on the
is-
mouth. I mean,
I want
That's how
Diana,
you
Kiki,
live.
and I to recreate that one TikTok because we said this ages ago when we used to do Borders Girlies of the one where it's just like the the like someone's got Kiki with like the red lipstick all over their cheeks and then turning to James and going like, "Did you do that?" And James going, "No," and then it just goes to us and we have lipstick all over our mouths going, "Who the fuck did it
Oh my
then?"
God.
That's a good one. We should do that.
I'm so excited.
very
I'm not looking
excited.
forward to the flight.
Oh,
No.
imagine.
Kill me. Maybe I'll do prep while I fly. But I
Just
know
easy
I'll
prep.
get 2 seconds in
Maddie,
and need to Google
also-
something and then just be like, fuck.
Also, it's awesome. I'm literally spending the next 2 weekends moving all of my shit 2 states over before Gen Con, so
Oh Jesus.
It's
I do not envy you. I
it'll be
this
fine.
this was never ended up going to come up or something. Well, I don't know what was going to happen. But once, instead of prepping, I spent an hour and a half deep dive researching what breed of dog Odysseus would have had. I didn't need to know that. But for some reason, I was convinced. I was like, well, what dogs did people have in ancient Greece? And for some reason, that was the hardest answer to any question, apparently. I figured it out. I know what he would have looked like. Argus. But fuck do I do now? What are they going to fight
What?
next session?
The cost of this information does not
Because-
equal.
Exactly. Oh my god, my girlfriend's at the funniest. By the way, it's my girlfriend Teresa's birthday. Everyone say happy birthday, Teresa.
Happy birthday,
Happy
She's at uni right now.
birthday.
We're hanging out later. She's obsessed with Epic the musical, by the way. Get into it. And
Yeah,
it was so
Kiki
funny.
got that
I love her
brain
so
rot
much.
in my head.
This was the funniest thing she's ever said. And I know this, she has normal people knowledge on Greek mythology. I know too much, okay? But for me, this was hilarious. She goes, "Do you know why I love Epic? Is because it follows on perfectly from Song of Achilles." And I was like, yeah. Because the Iliad goes into the Odyssey. Because that's what they're... It was so cute. The way she was like, it just follows on so perfectly. And I was like, it's almost like it was planned.
You don't understand, Maddie. They couldn't write it like this.
You don't get it. I am so obsessed. But yeah, and then we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, it starts off, Odysseus finishes, he grabs someone's baby, he goes, "Kobe." And then she just started laughing. And the person we were with was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "He threw a baby over a balcony, don't worry about it."
Sometimes you have to.
Just did that. Just
Yep.
went and did it.
That reminds me, my favorite thing that happened in the second session was when they didn't kill the Cyclops, and I was like, "Well done for not killing the Cyclops. That could have gone really badly for you." And they went, "Oh, why? Should we have killed the Cyclops?" And I was like, "Have you? Sorry, I thought you were all fans of Epic the Musical. Did we learn nothing?" Sorry, I've heard that it didn't fucking work out too well when a certain guy called Odysseus killed a Cyclops, and you guys travel by boat. Do you have anything to say about that? Oh, Polyphemus, the man you are. Who
Yeah,
are you?
Thank
Nobody of
goodness the
consequence.
Cyclops was just chilling. Although, could have been very angry about his sheep had you actually, like, done
Killed
anything
his
to it.
son. Last party immediately pissed off Poseidon and then were cursed by him the entire campaign. So you guys did pretty well. You've lost a campaign without pissing off Poseidon. It's hard to do.
So far.
It's very easy to piss off Poseidon, by the way.
It's Poseidon covers so much. I
Mhm.
mean, forget the fact that the ocean is a lot of the planet, but just the fact that he is the dad of so many monsters because he's a monster
Yeah.
fucker. And then on top of that, the fact that like he also it's like horses also. Like what if
Mhm.
I do something to a horse that's also gonna anger Poseidon? Like
Yeah, I was
can't
so
go anywhere.
surprised we were able to even take this ship
It
with
was
Randall on our with
very
Randall in the one shot.
funny.
I was like, Randall is a problem with Poseidon. I was kind of scared when we
I know.
Really?
That's when Hugo was like, I don't think you should get in the water. It was very funny. In the original campaign, one of the players played Phorcys, who is the was like one of the Titan gods of the oceans, one of the ones who sided with the Olympians. Echidna's father. So that was a really fun thing to include. But the reason he was punished to be mortal was that a town started worshipping Poseidon instead of him because they don't care about him anymore. So he released Charybdis and killed the town. And then Poseidon was quite upset about it and was going to kill him, and then to stop a war from happening, Zeus made him mortal. So that's why Poseidon hated him. But it also meant that every time they went anywhere near a horse, the horse would just try and beat the shit out of the horses. And he couldn't ride horses because they hated him.
It's truly
so
terrifying to
The amount
like
of
be
pettiness
attacked by a
in Greek
horse.
Oh
mythology.
yeah. And it was also very fun because whenever I got to roll on the sea encounter table, and when the Cedars showed up, it was just forces going, oh, hi buddy, and Cedar going, daddy.
Oh my god.
Because he's the Cedo and fathers of like the sea monsters, and then Echidna and Typhon are a lot of the land monsters. So the Gorgons, Cetus, Echidna, something else. Hippocampus. No, not Hippocampus,
Yeah.
that's Poseidon.
No.
Are all their kids. That was and the Sirens. Are all their kids. I want to see Maddie run Typhon. I have the stat block. I might change it though. It was really fun. It was, yeah. They might fight him. I don't know. He hasn't shown up yet. He's kind of been like the Jaws of this story, only spoken about but yet to be seen, which I think makes him really scary.
Really fun map might
Yeah.
be just like, you know how sometimes there are those islands that are straight up just like rock cairns, like
Yeah.
sticking out of water with water in
Mhm.
between them.
Mhm.
Just fight on that. Fight on that. Get good.
Get into it.
Good.
Typhon is interesting because I think, oh, what is it?
That's a boy.
Echidna
Is there someone in
is
a well?
What is it, Mets? What is it?
Echidna
Did
is
someone fall
profoundly
down?
more human than he is because she is A, mortal, B, a mother who deeply cares about her children, and definitely is able to like head this whole campaign because she can talk to people and has things to say and can convince them. Typhon is a weapon that was forged by Gaia and Tartarus to kill Zeus. He is quite literally and then became it. He is destruction personified. He is the god of violent storms and monsters. He himself is a monster. If you look at him, you go insane. Like, he
I'm already insane.
It's
is
not great.
He is Apocalypse. He is Apocalypse personified. He is the God Eater. Like, he's scary. Have you considered playing around with deep sea lore and playing around with thalassophobia? No, because that scares me. But more so that we're looking at a lot of the monsters that are on the land and in the sky. So we are going to do large creature scaries, but it will be more so... Okay, you know that one image you always see of Cthulhu? Where Cthulhu's like in the land and they're partially covered by clouds, and it just makes them look so like Titan gargantuan, and it's so terrifying, and it's just a silhouette. That energy. Or like the monster thingy from Stranger Things. The big one from the mall.
Oh,
The like
okay, yeah.
tripod.
No idea. Never seen it.
How they pictured him a lot. That's kind of the energy I think of Typhon.
Yeah.
Get into it. He's not something you fight
monster.
face on.
No. You just gotta lock that shit back up. You just
Just
gotta
a little bit,
just
yeah.
get going.
It's okay, Manny. I'll prep a CR30 version of Typhon and send it
Oh,
to you.
yeah. What is his CR rating? Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to quietly pull up his stat block because I want to see it again.
It's gotta be
This took me a while to work on, and I had to run it by many DMs because I made it too hard in some areas and too easy in others at first, and it was just working out, balancing how many hit points he had to his AC to everything. But it was difficult.
I think Typhon would definitely be a monster I would give like mythic actions. So
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Die right away.
He has every kind.
We'll use mythic actions.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer.
They made shit so much more intense. They're like, oh, we did it. Oh, no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Yeah, he's challenged 30.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It should be.
Maybe this isn't my thing, but yeah, he had lair actions, regional effects, legendary actions, all of it. He was very he was kind of, I was inspired a little bit by the Kraken, just in the way that lair actions and regional actions worked with the Kraken. But yeah, he and like Echidna's a lot less powerful than him. But yeah, he's for Zeus to fight.
Yeah.
Fun times.
That's not our problem.
No, yet.
Yet.
Yeah, the Mind Flayer, yeah. That part. Yeah, I'm so keen for next season.
I'm very excited to get to work.
Yeah, I've already told these two some secrets that I have been. I've got to wait when we go. Like, I'm gonna tell you something because I can tell you a secret, and you guys are gonna be so excited.
The best part about being in the evil brainstorming chat is sometimes there's just secrets that are like so far off in the distance, and we're like, oh, we just know something now. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys who the big bad evil guys were.
I'm gonna send a snap of me laughing evilly to Kiki and B with no context.
You guys found out who the big bad evil guys were with everyone else. I never told you.
We did. No,
you didn't.
Because I wanted to keep it all like, which I think was fun.
My favorite part about knowing secret things is sometimes I'm just sitting in the same room as Kiki in real life, and I'm like giggling at something in the chat, and she's like, "What is it?" And I'm like, "You can't know." And she's like, "Damn it!"
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to mention or talk about or ask each other or ask me?
Paige, Maddie, why are you both so lovely?
Shut the fuck up.
Stop.
Paige, Maddie, are you angry that I killed you on Friday?
Yes.
No, I killed myself. I straight up before you rolled when I died.
Baby.
Alright. I'm gonna put their links in the chat. You better go find these beautiful people. You better go get their mats. You better you guys should watch the stream that we just did. I'm gonna link Kiki's thing. You guys should go watch the stream that we just did, in which both of us die. Spoiler alert. But I play a southern guy who's dumb and he's a soldier. It's really fun.
And I play just a little guy. They're totally just a droid and nothing else.
We will see you guys on the 11th of July. Usual stream time, where we will have our full party after show, which, by the way, is on my birthday. We will be streaming on my birthday.
Yay.
So yeah, July 11th, and then hopefully August 22nd we will do the one shot. But yeah, we will see you soon. Everyone say bye.
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 Oh.